Every day, our lives are influenced by all parts of community life. Our friends and family, other community members and leaders, and the institutions around us. Together, these form what we call our circles of influence. The thoughts, beliefs, and actions of those within these circles create community norms, and these norms influence us in both positive and negative ways. Norms are the unwritten rules in a society that guide how we behave. They impact how we think, feel, and act about many things, including the imbalance of power between women and men and violence against women. So, how do these circles of influence shape community norms and impact our lives? Are norms fixed or can we change them? Let's take a look at the story of Bety and Joao.
I'm married to Joao. Our relationship used to be positive. Now Joao often yells at me and hits me too. Our children and I fear him.
I'm Bety's husband. Recently, our relationship has not been good. She always makes me angry, so I yell and sometimes I beat her. I guess this is just what married life is like.
We are all influenced by those closest to us in our interpersonal circle. Let's hear what Bety and Joao's friends and family members have to say.
Daughter, listen to me. Husbands must discipline wives. That's just how it is.
Hey John, we always go out drinking together. You often get really drunk and go home angry, but that's just what men do.
Daughter-in-law, you are part of our family now. As a woman, you must stay silent and not complain.
Oh, Bety, we always give each other advice. My husband is just like yours. They are the heads of the household. We just have to do what they say.
I hear Joao shouting and using violence next door, but I stay quiet. I don't want to get involved in your family issues.
What about the people in Bety and Joao's community circle? What do they think?
I can't say much, except that as a woman, you must be patient. God will be the judge.
I treat women who look like they've been hit, but I never ask how they got their injuries. I don't want trouble.
Men sometimes beat their wives. This is natural. If the woman's injuries aren't bad, I don't write up a report.
Women need to stop provoking violence, and they need to stop wasting my time with these small matters.
Teasing girls at school is normal. Just a bit of fun, doesn't hurt anyone.
There will always be violence between couples. The important thing is to know who is at fault and ensure penalties are paid to right the wrongs according to our culture.
Now, let's consider the institutions we, as individuals and communities, rely on. Those in the societal circle. What's their view on situations like Bety and Joao's?
A man hitting his wife is not a big deal. I don't know why women bring these cases to court when they always go back to their husbands.
When we receive proposals for new laws for women's rights, I usually vote against them. We already made a law against domestic violence. Isn't that enough?
When writing about domestic violence, I use sensationalist language because that's what sells. We have to grab the reader. There's no harm in that.
Clinics and hospitals are for treating sick people and not for talking about domestic violence and women's rights.
Now, we've heard from people from Bety and Joao's circles of influence, their interpersonal, community, and societal circles. We are all influenced by the opinions, behaviors, and practices of other people and institutions. They are what is considered normal or typical in our community, These norms shape Bety's experience of violence and Joao's use of violence. When our family, friends, neighbors, and the institutions we rely on for support see men's power over women and violence as normal and expected, it will continue. This makes it hard for Bety to seek support and Joao to reconsider his use of violence. Let's see the impact on Bety and Joao when the opinions, behaviors, and practices of others change, when men's power over women and violence against women is not accepted, when everyone recognizes the benefits of violence-free relationships.
Our health clinic and hospital staff receive training on how to support women who experience violence.
Sensationalist language minimizes the problem of domestic violence. Our newspaper doesn't publish articles that downplay the problem of violence against women.
The law of this country says that no one has the right to use violence against anyone else, including in the home. As members of parliament, it is our responsibility to ensure that the law is fully implemented.
I take all domestic violence cases seriously. I understand why it is so hard for women to report these cases. The courts must protect the victims.
When institutions take a strong stand on preventing and responding to violence against women, it reinforces that violence is never acceptable within the community.
Our culture teaches us to respect and value women, and violence plays no part in that.
I'm proud to work for a school that has a policy clearly stating that sexual harassment is never acceptable.
Our community doesn't condone violence against women. I speak out against violence at community meetings and support victims.
All forms of domestic violence are serious. It's my duty to register any case that comes to my attention.
We organize trainings with other nurses to learn more about the link between violence against women and health and how to support patients experiencing violence.
I've been trained about violence against women. Now, I give counseling to couples about balancing power and living free of violence.
When community members encourage and support non-violent, safe relationships, and show how we all have a role in balancing power between women and men, they influence norms at the community level.
When I hear violence, I raise alarm and I invite you to my house whenever you need help. Violence is never the solution.
Head of the household doesn't have a place in today's society. Couples that share power and make decisions together are stronger.
In our family, women and men have the same rights. Violence is never acceptable.
When we go out drinking, I advise you to stop before having too much, so that you don't go home drunk.
My family respects me. I use my voice to ensure that women in my family are also respected and valued.
Norms can change. When those closest to us speak out against violence, it can give us the courage to create change. Let's hear how these ideas have influenced Bety and Joao.
I see how my use of power over Bety was hurting her and our family. I've promised her I won't use violence to resolve problems or at all. Our kids are happier now. I am too.
Joao respects me. We talk about our problems and we commit to solving them together. I no longer live in fear and neither do our children.
When many of us from all circles of influence start sharing positive ideas and behaviors, and these are noticed by others, more community members can see the benefits of change and find the courage and support to change themselves. This change becomes the new norm.
Everyone has a role to play to create a supportive environment for new, positive behaviors and norms.
Together, we can prevent violence and make our communities safer and happier for everyone.
What changes can you make today?